MASH was a very black comedy made in the 1970s. Basically, a surgical team in a tent in the 1950s in the Korean War. And they were all incredibly outspoken and witty. What we walked into in Afghanistan at the start of this year was the 2010 equivalent of that. I was absolutely floored.
That's all 4-3, that's all 4-5.
You guys doing 19 kilometers to the north? You're ready for hotel departure,
I know how much of a construct television can be, particularly TV dramas, TV comedies. Yet here was something that approximated what I had grown up with in the 1970s.
We're going to need a body bag on the ground, then.
Although without the laughs, there was absolutely nothing to laugh about it now. Nothing.
Yeah, so I don't want one guy to turn into a dead body the whole time. Yeah.
What hasn't changed is how humans, how people, react under prolonged stress, under extreme stress.
Really matters.
Not only are they trying to save lives, but occasionally their lives are at risk as well. And doing that day in, day out, week in, week out is extraordinary.
Really wish they hurry up.
We provide 21st century intensive care, critical care for patients that would otherwise die. I mean, there's no way around some of these people would have died.
Too many soldiers wounded on Afghanistan's remote battlefields were bleeding to death before reaching surgery at the big military hospitals. So last year, Army surgical teams were moved much closer to the fight to beat the golden hour.
The golden hour is basically a general medical term describing the first hour following someone being wounded, shot, blown up in combat.
Your eyes open, your head straight.
Because it's that critical first hour in which time most lives are saved.
You're kind of like this, kind of protecting yourself, and this fractures and that gets dislocated.
A lot of the people in our story were actually from West Point. They were the elite of the American military elite.
Did it stay on its wheels the whole time, or did it roll over?
So initially I was thinking, well, this may not go too well because, we'll get very much the official Pentagon line on how this war is being conducted. I couldn't have been so wrong.
Yes! That's what she said.
Matt Heyman is a career officer, passionate about surgery and the Army.
All new body by Victoria, 25% off.
But he now openly questions the direction of the war.
This is what we're fighting for over here.
I'm not sure that it's always been communicated in a way that all of us can understand what we're doing here. It's not clear to me that we have an overall endpoint that makes sense to me. And if it doesn't make sense to me, then does it make sense to the average soldier that's going out there and risking their life?
And these were serving officers, speaking from the heart, but prepared to say it on camera, saying the sorts of things that if you had interviewed an Australian officer, they would probably be court-martialed for, or certainly disciplined for. They were incredibly outspoken, not only about what they were doing, but on the conduct of the war. And their fears for the future, because this was at the start of the year, and they all knew that it was going to get much, much worse, and they've been proved correct during the course of this year.